What's up, welcome back to Nostalgia. Dave here with a review of Playboi Carti's third album, I Am Music. Technically, this album is just called Music. The album cover says I Am Music. Frankly, it's a more easy to differentiate title if you call the album I Am Music, so that's what I'm going to call it. Playboi Carti, hip hop's vampire at this point, the face of modern rap, snippet culture, and leak culture. I think that's pretty clear. Guy has a fervent fan base at this point, so much so that he's become so enigmatic, has like a legitimate cult of personality, at least with people that are 15 years old, that he's a significant figure in hip hop, whether you like his music or not. And of course, now we're over 4 years removed since his last album, Whole Lotta Red, came out at the end of 2020. The rise of Carti has been a really fascinating thing to me because I started listening to Carti 1.0. He was such a different artist back in the day. I'm talking like way back, like 2015, Broke Boy, the breakout single, pre Magnolia. Like Carti's rise during, the general SoundCloud rap wave, making XXL Freshman the following year, was a pretty traditional as far as a lot of his peers were going. And then sometime after, Die Lit, the debut album in 2018, he started to just kind of change the type of music he was making as rage rap kind of came to the fore. And as a result, there was like so much like demand and hype for Whole Lotta Red before it came out. And I think Cardi and his team do a pretty decent job of building up that hype. And I think what changed with I Am Music is just that 4+ years is an eternity in hip hop, especially for a young rapper. And there's just so many starts and stops. Whether it was the singles that are put out just on YouTube but never even get a digital streaming release, so many teases and release dates that don't come to fruition. He very much was taking up Kanye's mantle in terms of just not delivering on what he says is going to happen with his new music. And to me, it was to the point where I just didn't pay any mind to new proclamations of the album coming out. And that's why it was so funny when I Am Music actually did come out last weekend after very little actual like concrete communication about the album date. It just kind of took me back. I mean, again, this is a guy who's canceled multiple arena concert tours. At this point, he's now, as of right now, on the weekend's upcoming stadium tour as an opening act, which I guess makes some sense given the big songs they have together. But yeah, Cardi's finally here with that third album after all this attention, and frankly, it's been a pretty good few years for him as far as in between albums go for a rapper. I mean, just he's been on some big records. The two weekend features, Popular from 2 years ago and Timeless from last fall was the lead single to the Weeknd's brand new album. Both monster records. Popular is at a billion stream song. Timeless is over 500 at this point. He has a big feature on Travis Scott's Fiend off Utopia, which is not a song I like at all, but a lot of people love the song. It's a massive track. Big songs again, Kanye's Carnival, Future and Metro's Type Shit. He's had some moments lately. Even his Lotto feature on the Blixum remix, that was a popular, snippet in TikTok audio before officially getting re-released just a few weeks ago. Of course, the question remains after all of this, and again, significant success, at least as a guest lately, is I Am Music worthy of the hype and the anticipation and the tremendous attention? Playboi Carti's I Am Music is largely more of the same in terms of how Carti has been moving lately. Surprisingly, it has a lot less of a clear theme than his last album, Whole Lotta Red, did. At 30 tracks and 76 minutes, this really feels just like a collection of tracks. There's really not much of a through line at all, and it makes some sense considering how many different voices and cadences and flows Carti displays. The problem is there's just no consistency with his music. There are legitimately fun and cool moments at times, but those moments are drowned out by tons of songs that are very much in one ear and out the other. There are numerous high profile features on the album, including 3 from Kendrick Lamar, but to me, I think the most significant features of all are actually the Little Uzi Vert features, which stand out because of how good they are and how reminiscent of older Uzi they are, most likely because they were actually recorded some time ago. Nonetheless, there's a handful of tracks that I enjoyed, such as Evil Jordan, but overall, I think it's a pretty forgettable project. I'd really be curious like how this satisfies Carti's loyal fan, just because rage music has continued to evolve and grow and change, the last 10 years, whenever it really began, rising up out of SoundCloud rap and some weird mutation that is very much up and down subgenre, right? But you think about the success of Yeet, you think about even newer people now, like a Two Hollis, like a Net Spend, like shit's moving quick. And I'll be curious if people feel like Cardi is keeping up. Also, one thing that I guess I had kind of forgotten, but Cardi is in fact still signed to AWGE, aka ASAP Rocky's joint venture label with Interscope. I didn't realize Cardi still was on that Rocky label. In fact, he is. And I think the fact that he doesn't release albums often at all probably is the reason he's still on the deal, because he just hasn't put out enough projects to satisfy it. As far as the actual tracks, again, there are so many, but just ones that stand out for good or bad. I mean, I would say Crush, the first song with Travis Scott. I thought the haunting chorus stood out to me, very eerie, very whole lot of red era vamp, you know, evil twin Cardi, I guess. His third track is called K-pop. I just thought that was curious because that's clearly biting the Bad Bunny song K-pop from a few years ago. A song called K-pop that's not about K-pop music. Like it felt like a played out, novelty. Like that was already done. Like you missed the boat on making that song. Call it J-pop. I don't know. Evil Jordan though was the first like real good moment to me, and it's really because of the beginning, because it has this chopped and screwed popular sample, specifically like the vocal "begging on your knees to be popular" line from the Weeknd and Cardi song "Popular." And when I heard that, I was like, "Oh shit! Is this what we're about to get into? This is super cool." And frankly, this song doesn't use the sample at all after that. The bass hits pretty hard. Like the song's still decent, but like that moment was super cool. And if there was gonna be more of that, like true, like actual, like interesting mix, I would have been more into it. And I think in general, like this album actually like sounds weirdly like a lot more commercial and a lot more like polished than Whole Lotta Red did. I thought Whole Lotta Red was like extreme peaks and valleys, and that goes down to the literal audio fidelity quality and stuff, like literally unfinished moments. I think I Am Music is more baseline, even if ultimately that baseline is pretty low quality wise. Mojo Jojo, you have Kendrick, really because of more of like an ad lib, like background sample, not like a really big feature. Philly with Travis, I thought was okay. That was a pretty good trap beat as far as the rest of the album sounded. Radar was a Metro Boomin beat. I thought the horns stood out. Pretty fun loops with those. Rather Lie featuring The Weeknd, doesn't really hold a candle to Timeless or Popular. So I think that one's going to be largely forgettable, even if it might stream well, given the Weeknd's presence of the song. Fine Shit, strangely, the voice from Cardi reminded me of like Jeremiah, which I wasn't expecting. I think in terms of like Cardi's voices these days, I think I like the voice, like the Blixum voice. I think the really like kind of like deep but like hollow, like guttural throat noise. Like it's so hard to describe his voice. He has so fucking many. Like sometimes he sounds literally exactly like Future, and you don't even realize it's him if you didn't know ahead of time. But I think to me, like that deeper one, that one stands out. That one's kind of cool, especially on certain songs on certain beats. Backdoor, more Kendrick Lamar again, more melodic. Still a short performance though. Toxic, with Skepta. I mean, Big Smoke spazzed. I mean, it was a great Skepta feature. I loved it, honestly. Charged Him Hose a Fee featuring Future and Travis. Okay. Good credits, the best Kendrick Lamar feature of the bunch because it's actual, like, real, like, Kendrick rapping verse. Although, not like an amazing Kendrick feature. Like, we're not talking, like, New Freezer or anything. But it was pretty solid. I thought the ASAP Relly line from Kendrick, incredibly timely. Shout out Rocky, of course. I appreciated that. I See You Baby Boy, perhaps the coolest beat on the album. It's very futuristic, like made me want to like jump right in like a land speeder on Tatooine. Like it felt very sci-fi to me. I enjoyed it. Wake Up Filthy with Travis, beats pretty hard. Cardi's doing a lot on it too, multiple voices. Jump in though, like this is the Uzi song, man. This one, I mean, the vocal line from Uzi is literally pink tape. Uh, we're two projects, we're a project beyond pink tape already. Like this is old, you know. But like it was a fun flow. Uzi super light on his feet, very like old school, like throwback Uzi, aka his most popular version of himself. So I was into it. Trim is actually featuring Future, which is funny because like when I listened to this on Friday, and this album even didn't come out till like Friday morning, right? It wasn't a midnight EST drop or anything. when I listened to it, it was without the features added yet. So you're just listening and noticing when things change. And that was the first time I was like, oh wait, that's actually a feature. I can actually tell the difference between the two of them on the song, which was nice because like sometimes you're guessing. We Need All the Vibes. Also, I think a great song and a great feature. Young Thug is awesome on this song. Kind of like a tropical beat, but Thug is gliding. Ty Dolla Sign comes in, he's gliding. Love Ty harmonizing with himself on it sounds great. Honestly, it's the best Thug verse in a while, best Thug feature in a while. I would say certainly since he got out of all his legal problems. I would say Twin Trim, another Uzi track. He sounds great once again on it. Like it's a big highlight. And then from there, I think the album completely lost me. Like I really have nothing good to say about any of those other songs. It just speaks to its significantly protracted length. So yeah, Playboi Carti. I mean, I didn't really focus on much of his contributions to the album, and that's for a reason, man. He's weird like that, you know. That being said, you think about the most memorable moments of his career to this point. To me, like the platonic ideal of Cardi is like R.I.P. Undilit. That's where you get the actual energy from him versus him just yelling in the mic. I think there's a fine line, and he's largely devolved into just a less interesting artist lately. And just because he's doing weird shit doesn't mean he's doing good shit. Um, I don't see a world where he gets back to Dial It, to be honest. I think he's continuing to get more enigmatic and more strange, and you see with his live performances as well. And I'll be curious what his fan base continues to think, because most of his fan base is very young. And as hip hop continues to evolve and change, I'll be curious how they stay with him. But I mean, to his credit, you look him up on Spotify, and he's got 54.3 million monthly listeners, 36 in the world, and obviously that is significantly boosted by being on 2 songs with The Weeknd, now 3. Um, big song with Travis Scott, like that's a big factor, but still, like he's a significant artist for those reasons. But yeah, let me know what did you think of Playboi Carti's third album, I'm Music. Did you like it more than me? If so, let me know why. And for more music reviews, more rap reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.